This week I'm going to talk a little bit about newspapers. Previously we have covered books, printed media such as books, such as magazines. This week we are going to talk about newspapers. For the brief history of newspaper, I won't read it out for you. In the West, the newspaper originated more than 2,000 years ago, from the time of the Roman Empire, 100 years before Christ. And right until now, more than 2,100 years of history newspaper has. I won't read them out loud. This chart is for you to read, for you to review, to refresh your memory. We are going to focus mainly on the most up-to-date situation, most up-to-date currents and trends of the newspaper in the West, especially since the textbook is published by US publisher and written by US author. The figures, the charts, the information, the data are all collected mainly in the United States. Take a look, for example, at this chart concerning newspaper and the audience of newspapers. Take a look, the print media. The print media is shrinking. By the way, from the very beginning, we have to keep in mind, if you want to work in the future in the media industry, especially if you harbor such fascination with the traditional print media, and for example, if your parents, if your relatives, if your friends are working in the traditional media, printed media such as newspapers, you may harbor fantasies with such a age-old, millennia-old form of print media. Nowadays, you should first of all be very clear, this form of media, the printed newspaper, whether electronically or in the traditional fashion, it's suffering steep decline. The decline is too obvious, and the trend of decline has been on for at least 15 years. The print media only account for 8% of the total audience, and this number is released in 2020. 4 to 5 years later, I would imagine, I would predict, I would say for a lot of certainty that this number has shrinked significantly over the past 5 years. Okay, the scope and structure of the newspaper industry. Although this industry, the newspaper industry, has been declining for a long time, still thousands of newspaper agencies, newspaper corporations and companies are still operating in the United States alone. The number is 7,000, and 17% of these 7,000 newspaper institutions are daily newspapers. 75% of them are weeklies. 8% are semi-weeklies. Oh, by the way, the term is daily. What does daily mean? In order for a newspaper to qualify for being a daily newspaper, does it have to be printed every day, around the year, around the month, around the year? Does it? The answer is no. In order for a newspaper to be called a daily, it has only to meet the requirement that it is published 5 times a week. In other words, it has to be published on every workday, every weekday of the week. It's not necessary that it's published during the weekends. With all the declines, with all the worsening of the situation of the overall situation of the industry, still there are the combined circulation amount to 100 million, taking account of those dailies, weeklies, and semi-weeklies. The overall print circulation is falling. That's the key word. Falling, falling, and falling. But we have a saying in China, in Chinese, the dead camel is larger than a horse. The number alone is significant, although it's been suffering decline and the shrinking.